What do you say when your mom stands up, reaches for the door, and insists, "I want to go home," while the rain is pounding outside and she's already moving to go out the door? How do you keep her safe and stay truthful without turning the movement into a fight? If you've ever faced the "I want to go home" moment, this conversation with Martha invites you to see what's actually happening beneath the words and how safety and dignity shape what comes next. Hey, Christian Care Companion, welcome back to the podcast, Dementia Caregiver Support for Christians. Today, you were invited to listen in on a live discernment conversation. This episode names a real caregiving dilemma when "I want to go home" collides with the weather, urgency, and a moving person. This matters because home does not always mean a place. Sometimes it points to another time. Sometimes it is a feeling. Sometimes, especially for believers, it can point to heaven. And in moments like these, your words and your posture can either help or hinder the situation or preserve dignity. As you listen, you'll begin to see how truthful validation can slow escalation without pretending the problem is solved, how your tone, urgency, and context can reveal risk before they offer answers, and how faithful stewardship often looks like staying present and not fixing the moment. This episode shows what discernment with support can look like when safety, responsibility, and love are all in play at once. And if this conversation resonates with you, you can learn about the Christian Dignicare Society, the Foundation's level, a bounded space for caregivers who are seeking biblical clarity and faithful discernment as they steward what God has entrusted to them. Membership is $97 a year, and you can sign up at the link in the show notes whenever you are ready, or you can go to thinkdifferentdementia.com/join. So now let us listen in on the conversation where we speak with Martha related to when mom says, "I want to go home."
There she is. Hello, Miss Martha.
Hello.
This is the first time for you as well, correct?
It is, yes.
So do you listen to the podcast?
I listened to, I don't know if it was the podcast or if it was the meeting that you had a couple weeks ago. I actually had a spot in it and I wasn't able to log in, but I listened to the replay.
Okay. Well, good. Well, I'm glad that you are here. I'm very excited that you are here. So, Miss Martha, if your caregiving journey were easier about 6 months from today, what would that look like for you?
Well, if I was being perfectly honest, my mom would be in heaven rejoicing with Jesus and free of the disease and free of fear and anxiety and everything else that goes with it.
I understand that desire.
Yes. But in the meantime, I want to make her life as joyful as possible for her and as peaceful as possible. And most of the time, we're doing okay.
Mm-hmm.
Her sweet personality didn't change too terribly much. And I'm blessed because of that, because I know that happens with a lot of people. My biggest question where I run into trouble and don't know what to do is when she does the very common, "I gotta go home."
Okay. I'm jotting it down.
Sometimes it's "I can't find my husband." Sometimes it's "Where's my mother?" Sometimes it's "She lost children." But the most common one is
I want to go home.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So as I paraphrased earlier for someone else, it sounds to me the communicating with her in an honest and open fashion without escalating things. Is that an accurate summary?
I think so.
Okay. So When she does say, I want to go home, what are you saying currently?
Well, we take a walk often. Sometimes that'll reset her. Generally she initiates that she's going to walk home and she's out the door. She's very physically, she's pretty strong. Guess what? Speak of the devil, here she comes. Uh, she could say hi, and then maybe I might need to drop off, and you can come back to me. So she's generally already ready to walk, and I say, "Oh, okay, I'll walk with you." And we walk, and sometimes around the block we'll do the trick. And I'd like that for an honest answer. Is your mother here? Yes, she is.
Yes, you did absolutely excellent. Your mother is your mother here? Yes, she is.
My nephew just walked in.
Mother is here.
Okay, sorry, we're getting kind of distracted here. So if you need to drop me and come back, it's okay.
So when she says, I want to go home, sometimes you take her for a walk and it seems to help.
Sometimes.
Okay. I would love for you to also try the little formula that I gave the young lady earlier today about agreeing with what it is that she says. She says, I want to go home, right? And then you can, what I'm noticing is none of us like to be told no. Nobody does, right? So if she says, I want to go home, and you can use the words yes, it sounds like you're missing home. And why don't you tell me about it? Because with what I observed with your mom coming through, your mom is in the later stages of this process where we're not entirely sure necessarily what she means when she's saying home, right? Literally in her situation, if she is a believer, it could be, I want to go to heaven. I want to go home. It could be, I want to go home to where I lived when my kids were 2 years old.
This is where we live right now.
Right?
It's the house
I want to go home to where I lived when I was 10. And so we don't know truly, we assume, because we're like, but Mom, you are home, right? Home for her is more home for people experiencing this at these later stages is likely more a feeling or something in the past or something that they see in the future. Like for believers, I truly do believe believers say, I want to go home, literally meaning I want to go to heaven, right? But I also know and recognize that we don't know what that is. So some open-ended questions. So when she says, I want to go home, it may, say yes. It sounds like you're missing home. And why don't you tell me about it? So yes, validate what she said and an emotional hook on the other side. I want to go outside. Yes, it sounds like you want to be in the sun. And I love that you want to be outside. What's your favorite thing about being outside? So a very simple formula. Yes, validate, meet the emotion, and work on redirecting.
Okay.
Okay? Walking her is not a bad plan. You can, if you live in a climate where it's going to start to get cold and walking is not an option, you can always say, let's go for a drive. And you can just drive around the block. Okay. So Miss Marta, was that helpful?
Yes. I do those things that they don't always work. I mean, sometimes it just is a matter of just wearing her out till she finally just gives up and goes to bed.
Yes. Sometimes there is that.
I just feel bad.
The trick about this is, specifically if she's asking it repetitively,
Mm-hmm.
cheerfully answer it like it's the first time every single time.
Right.
And you and I know it's the 15th time that you have said the exact sentence the exact same way.
Mm-hmm.
She does not.
Right. And I don't have a problem doing that. I'm really think I can do that. The problem comes, and I don't want to disparage the advice you've given because it's all great. It's the other day, pouring down rain outside. There
Mhm.
was absolutely, and she rarely gets angry. As you see, the personality that just waved at you is pretty much her normal personality. But when she's upset and she's angry. I don't know how to, and I can't really physically stop her from walking out into the rain, and there she goes. And there's no, let her go, call the police, call the ambulance. She is on hospice. They probably are going to take her off of it because she doesn't really qualify.
Okay.
Uh,
So related to the specific situation that you just mentioned,
so yeah, my issue is really more like in that moment, how do I keep her safe?
you have a few things that you could consider, right? If if it's warm outside and it's raining and she's going to take off in the rain and you can be with her and know you're going to get wet and she's going to get wet,
Right.
just walk with her and keep her safe.
Yep. That's pretty much what we did.
Stopping her is what causes the
Anger.
right? So as long as the situation is safe, if it's something that is unsafe, then we need to figure out a way to distract her, and or say, okay, it's raining, it's cold outside, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's get in the car
Okay.
and go. So what's one thing, young Miss Marta, that you will take action on this coming week?
Well, hopefully I won't have to. I pray harder that it doesn't happen. I would say work harder on the redirecting rather than just make it stop.
Yes, redirecting is great. And repetitive activities, based on what I've observed with your mom, could be helpful.
Repetitive activities.
Give her a pile of towels, washcloths,
Okay.
and set it up at the table or
Mhm.
on the bed and ask her to fold it.
Okay.
Same thing with things like putting away dishes or spoons and forks and things. Give
Mhm.
her things that are not things that the quality of it needs to be worried.
Right. Okay.
You literally can go and buy plastic knives and forks or whatever in a thing in a container, just dump it out on the table and ask her to sort it. And if she stops, just leave it there,
Right. Okay.
walk away. Lots of these little activities
Mm-hmm.
to keep her engaged, I think would help you. She appears to be looking for something meaningful to do.
Right. At the moment.
At the moment. Yes, ma'am. I totally understand.
All right. Thank you very much.
Well,
for your
Marta,
time.
it was nice having you here.